STL TV Live. The Maple Sugar Festival is a family fun learning event where you can learn how to make maple sugar treats in your backyard. Here with me to tell us more is naturalist Sarah Pitzer. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
So you're with the Missouri Department of Conservation. We always love having your team come on STL TV Live because we learn so much. And I am so excited. I know we've got the Maple Sugar Festival coming up this weekend, but you're going to show us right here how we're going to teach us everything we need to know. So where do we start? Is this like the prime season right now for sap?
Yes, we're just getting into the prime season here in Missouri. We have tapped our trees at Rockwoods. We started tapping about 2 weeks ago, so about mid-January, and then it will run until the end of February. So it's about six to 8 weeks.
Okay, so how many trees, when you say you tap your trees, how many trees are we talking about? Is it a certain area of the Rockwoods Reservation?
Mm-hmm. Well, we have sugar maples sort of scattered all over the place, but we have a couple of particular places where there's a lot of sugar maples, and that's called our sugar bush. And we have about 34 trees total tapped.
Okay, and this is something that people literally can do in their own home backyard if they've got a maple sugar tree.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the species that we generally use that you want to try and use are sugar maples.
Okay.
But you can use just about any maple species. It can be a silver maple or a black maple, or they'll work too.
Really? Okay. So how do you do it? Where do we start?
Well, okay. So first off, you have to tap your tree. So essentially, you drill a hole into it, and then you get a spile or a tap, and this is just a couple of examples. This one's metal, obviously this one's plastic, and then you tap that in. You just hammer it into the hole.
Okay.
And then usually these hooks are for a bucket you can hang, and then that's it. You let it go.
So just going back for a minute, now where would somebody find something like this?
Okay, well, generally you can get your supplies from the internet.
Okay.
We get ours from Leader Evaporator. It's a company in Vermont, but there's also tapmytrees.com.
So tapmytrees.com. Okay, neat. So you don't go to Home Depot, which is where I would have gone.
No. Unfortunately, most of these supplies aren't really available in our local stores, simply because there's just not that big an industry
one of these,
here.
I mean, this is plastic and metal, and is either one
Either one is fine. The only difference is this plastic one is a smaller hole. It's a 5/16 diameter hole, and the metal one is 7/16. It's a little bit bigger. We like to use the plastic because, again, a smaller hole, it's a smaller hole in the tree, so less chance for bacteria or a fungus or an infection of some kind to get in.
Okay, all right, so that's a good tip. So you drill a little hole.
Yep.
And then you tap it in.
Yep.
And it doesn't go in very far, I guess.
Nope, you only have to go in about 2 inches.
Okay.
No more than that into the tree.
And then what happens?
Well, then the tree does the rest. So this is a slice of a sugar maple tree.
Okay.
And actually you can see where we tapped it in the past. This is one of the plastic spouts, and this is one of the metal ones.
So when you take it out, then it just heals itself back over.
Yep, it heals itself up.
So there's no harm to the tree.
No harm to the tree. That's right. And so this time of the year, what's happening is water from the roots and sugars that have been stored from last summer's photosynthesis process that the tree made for itself, that's all being drawn up from the roots up through this part of the tree. And so it's going up to the buds where new leaves are being grown for the next year. So all we're doing is we're tapping into that.
Okay.
So we're taking a little bit of that sugar water out of the tree, essentially.
And there's no harm. So taking those bit of nutrients away from the tree doesn't do anything.
Nope. As long as the tree is big enough to start with. So it needs to be at least 10 inches in diameter, which is 10 inches across.
Okay.
And then it's old enough, and you can put in 1 tap, and we use 1 tap per tree. Bigger trees, you can have more taps, but you don't actually get that much extra sap out of those taps. So we just do 1, and that keeps it healthy for the tree.
Okay, so we're gonna stop right there just for a minute and take a quick break, but when we come back, you're gonna tell us what happens next.
Yes.
This is really interesting. So we're gonna take a quick break. Please stay with us to hear the rest of the story about the Maple Sugar Festival and how you can do it in your own backyard after this break.